Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a chimpanzee. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the top part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. On the bottom left side, draw another circle as a guide for the lower section of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. Make this circle about 2/3 the size of the first circle. Don't place the circles too far apart or the body will be too long. On the top right side, draw another circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle as well. The left edge of the head should slightly overlap the first circle. Make this circle about half the size of the first circle. Inside the head, draw a curved sloping line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features. On the top right side, draw a curved vertical line for another construction guide. Below the construction guides, draw a small circle as a guide for the mouth section. The bottom part of this circle should extend to the outside of the head circle. Pay attention to the size of this circle in relation to the head circle. On the left side of the head, draw a curved line as a guide for the ear. This guide should be similar to the letter C. Under the first circle, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the first arm. Bend the top of the line slightly to indicate a joint. To the right, draw a long sloping line as a guide for the other arm. Under the circle on the left, draw a long angled line as a guide for the leg. Bend the line near the top to indicate a joint and then again at the bottom for the foot. To the left, draw a sloping line as a guide for the other leg. Bend the line at the bottom to indicate the foot. Connect the body circles using sloping lines to finish the guide for the torso. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch 2 small ovals for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the horizontal construction guide and on either side of the vertical guide. Make the eye on the right slightly smaller because the head is turned. When you get the sizes and positions of the eyes right, darken the shapes. Make the sides of the shapes pointier as you darken them for the corners of the eyes. Draw small curved lines inside the shapes for the eyeballs. Inside each eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for highlights. In the middle of the eyes, draw tiny circles and shade them in for the pupils. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circles as you draw the pupils. Draw a few curved lines around the eyes for creases. Keep these lines close to the shapes of the eyes. Inside the lower circle, draw 2 short angled lines for the nostrils. Place the nostrils near the top edge of the small circle. Each nostril should look like a small letter L on its side. Darken the lower sections of the lines for the nostrils openings. Draw a couple of short lines around the nostrils for the rest of the nose. Add more lines farther out to give the nose structure. Starting on the right side of the nose, draw a line that curves down for the side of the mouth. Follow the shape of the initial circle as you draw this line. Bend the line to the left to create the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. Under the mouth on the right side, draw a curved line for the lower lip. Under the mouth, draw a line that curves to the left for the chin. Break up the line for the chin. Draw a few short lines around the mouth for creases. Draw a series of short strokes around the chin for hair. Follow the shape of the chin as you draw these strokes. Curve the strokes up to the sides of the mouth. Use the curved shape on the left as a guide to draw the ear. Darken the shape to create the ear. Draw a series of short strokes on the right side for hair. Draw a few curved lines inside the shape to give the ear structure. Use the initial circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Draw a sloping line above the ear for the back of the head. Follow the basic path of the circle as you draw the shape of the head. Make the top of the head flatter than the initial circle. Use a series of short strokes as you draw these lines to create a hairy texture. On the left side, draw a curved line for the jaw. Make the right side of the head flatter than the initial guides. Above the eyes, draw a few sloping lines for the brow. Draw longer curved lines higher up to make the brow thick. Sketch lightly at first and only darken these lines when you get the shape right. Draw a few curved lines on the left side for creases. On top of the head, draw a few short strokes to emphasize the hair. On the right side of the head, draw a couple of short curved lines for the visible section of the other ear. Use the second line from the right that's under the body as a guide to draw the arm. First, lightly sketch the shape of the arm around the guideline. Draw the top of the arm high up and close to the ear. Make the top of the arm wide and gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. Bend the shape near the middle to indicate a joint. At the bottom, draw a small square-like shape for the hand. When you get the shape of the arm right, darken the lines. Curve the line next to the ear to create the shoulder. Bend the shape near the middle to indicate the elbow joint. Darken the left edge of the arm using a series of short strokes to create a hairy texture. Don't make the strokes too long. Darken the shape at the bottom for the hand. Make the shape more curved as you darken the lines. On the bottom left side, draw a curved line for the pinky finger pointing backward. At the bottom, draw a couple of short lines to separate the folded fingers. Most of the fingers won't be visible from this angle. Draw a couple of lines across the hand for creases. Use the line on the right as a guide to draw the other arm. First, sketch the shape of the arm around the guideline. Use curved lines to indicate structure. Draw a small square-like shape at the bottom for the hand. When you get the shape of the arm right, darken the lines. Bend the top of the shape to indicate the elbow joint. Darken the left edge of the arm using short strokes to create a hairy texture. Darken the bottom shape for the hand. Draw a few curved lines along the bottom for the folded fingers. On the bottom left side, draw a short curved line for the index finger pointing backward. Farther up, draw the thumb using a couple of curved lines. The bottom of the thumb should be made up of a U-shaped line. Use the angled line to the left as a guide to draw the leg. Just like with the arms, first lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Bend the bottom of the shape to the right to create the foot. Make the top of the leg wide and the bottom thin. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use the series of short strokes as you darken the left edge of the leg for a hairy texture. Bend the middle of the shape to create the knee joint. On the tip of the foot, draw a series of short curved lines for the toes. Not all the toes will be visible from this angle. Add a few short strokes on the foot for more hair. Use the line on the left as a guide to draw the other leg the same way. Lightly sketch the leg around the guideline and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. The top of this leg will be hidden behind the body. Use short strokes on the top part of the leg to create a hairy texture. At the bottom, draw a few curved lines to separate the toes. On the left side, draw a long curved shape for the thumb-like toe. Don't make the toes too long. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the edges to create a hairy texture. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a dark value on the face to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Use a series of short strokes to darken the top and sides of the head for hair. The face is fairly hairless, so don't add short strokes there. Leave a section on top of the head blank for a part on the hair. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the hair. The hair on the body mainly has a diagonal orientation. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. As you shade, separate each stroke a bit so that the white of the paper comes through and creates a more hairy texture. Add some shadows throughout the body using a dark value. Use a light value across the body to create highlights. Add a few more lines on the face to create creases and wrinkles. Use the light value to shade the hands and feet. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the chimpanzee. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com, where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.